Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Mangg's Variety Stream. We are playing some New World. Look at all these people playing. This game is bustling. I thought this game was going to be some huge flop. No one was going to buy it. It was going to be shit. But in fact, too many people have bought it, and the queue times are kind of ridiculous. I was in queue for like an hour on a Wednesday evening. And some servers are apparently far, far worse than this one. So, you know, that's good. That's good, considering it's Amazon and they own like the world's largest sort of server capabilities. Anyways, New World. So I did play the beta, if you recall that. I did a variety stream for the beta. And I thought it was pretty intriguing, and I planned on playing it at launch, so here we are. This is not right at launch. I'm level 15. But we can discuss some stuff that I have observed. So far, I can say that as like a survival, not survival, it's not survival, crafting simulator, crafting and gathering are a big portion of the game at this point, and it's really pretty entertaining to get out there and find all sorts of different materials and find all these different things you can make. Leveling up. I always like cooking in any sort of MMO or anything like that. I always like leveling up cooking. My issue with cooking is just finding all these different ingredients. It's not that simple. For me, the cream of the crop for an MMO cooking system, the mechanics of it were not that incredible, but Guild Wars 2, I was able to level up almost exclusively through cooking. And it was just really fun. Because I had to continually go to like these higher level locations to find ingredients. And I was not really meant to be there. So I played like a stealth character or something, so I was stealthing all over the continent in like these volcanoes and shit just to find some rare pomegranates so that I could keep cooking and leveling up. It was pretty great. I'll never forget it. But this one, yeah, it's pretty good. It's sort of similar. A lot of cooking going on and making potions and making shields and weapons and armor and, you know, everything that you'd expect from an MMO. But aside from that, the PvE quests are pretty sort of basic stuff so far. I mean, at level 15, it's really like what you'd expect of just like running around the world, killing monsters, grabbing what they drop and handing it in. It's not revolutionary. This is not Final Fantasy XIV or anything like that. It just is an MMO. But a big aspect of the game is the PvP. There are 3 different factions. There's the Marauders, I think they're called. I don't know if I have... I don't know if I can tell you the different names. There's the Marauders. There's, I want to say the Scoundrels, but that might not be right. And then there's the Covenant. Now, let's just walk through town here and look at everybody. So a person's faction is represented by this colored symbol next to their name. Purple is the scoundrel or whatever it is. It's something with an S. They're sort of a secretive, stabby in the dark organization. Then there's the Marauders, which are green. They're just big brutes. And then there's the Covenant, who's like the Holy Warriors that want to purge the land of heretics. Now, as we walk through here, you'll likely notice a lot more greens and purples than yellow. Not a whole lot of yellows around. And when it came for me to pick my faction, I didn't look up anything. And I just thought, okay, well, the Holy Warriors, the Covenant,
How's that spark
the Syndicate, not the Scoundrels. There we go.
I see your followers suffering.
The Holy Warriors, you know, that'll be popular with the kids. They're all into Deus Vult and all that kind of stuff. They'll love that. That'll be the most popular faction by far. Little did I realize. I don't think no one is playing the Covenant because we do have some territories controlled. But the first few days when I was playing, I turned on World PvP mode, and I was running out there. I never saw any other yellow people. And if they did, they were not PvP enabled. So, basically, just green and purple people wandering around in gank squads and just murdering me. The very first day, it was okay, because I was actually, like, a competitive level. And I was able to hold my own if it was, like, one-on-one, or even 1v2 I did once, but after that, I sort of fell behind, and now it's just fucking roaming gank squads, and there's no reason to ever enable World PvP unless you're in a group. I am an Immortal Technique fan, that is correct. I went to one of his last concerts before COVID hit. It was a concert to hype up the release of The Middle Passage, and then that album still has yet to come out, so I would think if there's anything that would help a rapper release an album, it's a big old quarantine. But no, still nothing. So I don't know what the holdup is on that. But anyways, so yeah, so the PvP system, you know, there's the three factions. They vie for control of territories and of settlements. So we can see that this, the Marauders own this territory, First Light. Specifically this clan company. I think it's a company. Yeah, it's a company. Yeah, so this company, the Immortals 1, they own this territory. So they get, here, it'll show you. As governor of a territory, your company earns coin through taxes, gets huge discounts on fast travel, and contributes to the success of your whole faction. So, when you're in a territory, and you're in a town in that territory, such as this settlement here, which I assume has a name. The First Light Hamlet. That's a great name. Any crafting you do in this settlement, you have to pay a small tax on it, which is odd, but it's how it is. That taxes, I guess, all of it or a portion of it goes to that company, that guild, which is pretty interesting and really incentivizes people to form companies and to take over territories. Also, any transactions on the auction house, the trading post, that also is taxed. There might be some other taxes that I'm not aware of right now, but those are the main ones. So yeah, we can see that Immortals own this one. The Kingdom of Serenity, another Marauder company, owns this territory. But over here, the Wraiths, a Syndicate company, own this territory. The We Play Games company owns this one. Finally, up here, we get some Covenant action. We own this whole middle section, which is kind of nice. Onslaught. I wonder if I can get into that company. My assumption is that the companies that sort of just randomly invite people to join are probably not the ones that are controlling territories. So, yeah. Anywho, let's head out into the world and do something. So yeah, we can just run around. We don't have to fast travel. The combat. We already, it hasn't really changed at all from the beta. My concern about the combat is really like an overall lack of depth. Obviously, they're going to be adding more and more weapon types as time goes on. Shockingly, there's no daggers of any kind. There's not even a great sword, which is pretty surprising. And there's no, like, lightning weapon. There's a lot of room to expand in the weapon skills here. There's no dual wielding, I don't think. I'm almost positive. So, really, you can use sword and shield. You can use a rapier, hatchet. For two-handed, you have a spear, great axe, a warhammer. Range weapon, you have a bow or musket. And then magic, fire staff, ice gauntlet, and then there's one healing option, which is the life staff. The nice thing is that if you want to be a healer, you're not pigeonholed to only use the life staff, because you can switch to, say, a fire staff in your other hand. Or, you know, on swap. Or, you know, anybody can just grab a life staff and have it on swap, and they can just use it. But yeah, overall it seems to be a game very heavily geared towards PvP as far as balance and you know, game design. I don't think there's any, like, group PvE content. But maybe I'm wrong. There is a taunt ability, which is useless in PvP. So there must be some purpose for that. Again, I'm only level 15. I think it goes up to 60. So there's room to learn. I've been sort of swapping around weapons, trying out all sorts of different stuff. Originally, I was going spear and bow. But then I saw some other guy rocking the warhammer, sword and shield combo, and I was like, oh, a Kirkhammer build. That intrigues me a lot. So that's what I'm running right now, is warhammer with sword and shield on swap. Truth is, though, it's not really super beneficial to have two melee weapons. I mean, one is obviously a bit more tanky. My idea was, okay, if I just need to be, like, DPSing, or if I'm attacking, like, a caster or something, I can just go ham with the warhammer. Whereas if I need to actually deflect some blows, the sword and shield. In practice, though, most enemies are just, like, very basic AI, and you just sort of hit, block, hit, block, and, you know, it doesn't matter too much. So I might end up swapping out the warhammer for a bow. Other than that, I can't say I'm addicted to the game. Because really, the majority of my time has honestly been spent gathering and crafting. like logging, for example, cutting down trees. At the start, you can only cut down one type of tree, and that's a light tree, or a young tree. This is the standard process of cutting down a young tree. That's it. I only had to push the button once to initiate that, and then it goes. And in order to just cut down the next level up of tree, a mature tree, you have to hit logging skill of 50. I have cut down what already feels like a stupid amount of young trees. But my skill is not at 50. Again, we'll just show you this. There you go. So I'm at 45 skill, so I'm pretty close, but I've cut down a shit ton of young trees. Like, I had to throw away wood because it was just way too much, and I was just like, I need to keep cutting down trees. So yeah, you know, probably another like 30 trees, I'll get there. But it's not exciting. Cut down trees. I would say none of the gathering is particularly exciting. Which it almost never is in an MMO. But again, looking at the crafting system, it's pretty basic mechanically. And like I said before, Cataclysm has kind of just ruined a lot of games for me. Because every crafting system in every game is going to be compared to Cataclysm now. And it'll never hold up, because nothing can compete. It's an unfair comparison. And yet I have to make it. Because it's been corrupted now. It's a relaxing game, I suppose. If you don't have World PvP turned on, it's fairly relaxing to just wander around and just gather. And then go back and just craft a bunch. And you do get XP for it. It's not a whole lot. It's certainly not compared to completing quests, but you could level up all the way with just gathering and crafting. But I guess, at the end of the day, I really have to ask myself the question of what am I looking for in an MMO? In 2021, what am I looking for in an MMO? And to be honest, I don't really know. It generally is not PvP. That first day with the World PvP, where everyone was basically the same level. And just like hunting people down out here in the wild, and I was using a musket and I was shooting people in the face and then spearing them, and it was exciting. I mean, that was pretty good, but that's done now. That will never ever exist ever again. So I'm not the type of person that's gonna join a company and like chat with people and sign up for raids and things like that. You know, it's just not gonna happen. So really, Final Fantasy XIV is pretty much the perfect MMO for a person like me that doesn't really want to communicate with other people whatsoever, because you have just the great sort of story content, and then most of the group content can just be done with random people that never say a word, and you move on. You just get to experience it and have fun and move on. And PvP, which I don't really care about, is kind of non-existent in that game, so it's not a factor at all. I do like survival simulators, but this is not a survival simulator. There's no aspect of survival in this game. So it's a gathering simulator for sure. So it's sort of just like playing normal Minecraft with no enemies. Not creative mode. Just no enemies. And you can't really build things. Again, I'm only level 15, so time will tell what other things this game has to offer. And I'm sure there are, like, battlegrounds, which I'll give a try. I wonder what level you get to access those. Let me Google. You just keep cutting down trees by Alt-Tab. Okay, maybe there's only world PvP. Oh, Outpost Rush? Large-scale endgame PvP. Okay. 20 versus 20 PvP with some PvE. Level 60. Okay, so that's out. Then, there's Wars, which is between companies. Where you attack forts and stuff as a company. So that's out as well. So really, if I want to do any PvP from 1 to 60, I pretty much just have to turn on PvP mode and hope that I get a fair fight. Okay, and what about, dungeons or group PvE expeditions? That's what they're called. Five-player instanced dungeons. Okay. Huh. You have to craft an item to be able to do it each time. That's interesting. Huh. There's no classes or anything. You have to hit level 25 to do the first expedition. And there's only 2 in the game right now. There's one at 25 and there's one at 60. Jesus. Can you imagine, like, any other MMO launching with 2 dungeons? And the only battlegrounds is at level 60? The only one I can think of that was that bad was Age of Conan. We all know what happened to that. So, all in all, it's a very PvP-focused game. If you do not like PvP, this shit ain't for you. There's definitely faster ways to get to 60 than me just running around and, like, gathering for hours. But there's just so much to gather. Here's a level 24 zone. I love it. You can just block 100% of the damage, and it's barely like an inconvenience to your stamina bar, your block bar, which recharges like instantly. Yeah, I mean, it took a while, but there you go. That was 9 levels higher than me. Turkey. But I mean, I can see the appeal. If you are the type of person that does like PvP and is likely to just join someone's company or whatever, and you're participating in wars and taking over territories and building up your fortresses. But, you know, I'm a Cataclysm player, so rules me out. I can't even, I guess what I should do is just turn on World PvP and just see what happens. It's probably our best bet. Can only do that at a settlement of some kind, though. And I mean, so far the PvE is pretty stupid easy because healing is so abundant and you can block 100% of stuff, and the AI is very, very basic in its attacks. Traveling is a bit of a pain, because there's no, like, sprint. Mounts are apparently not in the game. Fast travel, you have to, like, pay to use, and you get a discount if your company owns the territory, but otherwise, you know. And it's not gold, it's like a separate currency. I think overall it's probably better than most people assumed it would be. Given that it's like, well, you know, it's an Amazon video game that's been in development for way too long and had all these setbacks and so on and so forth. It's certainly functional. Alright, so here we can enable PvP. So now, if we see anybody with like a big red dot next to their name, that tells us that they are also PvP enabled. And then we will try to kill them, unless there are like 8 of them. Then we will die. Or they are level 38. Then we will also die, because there are no rules. I would make a Dark Souls comparison for the combat, but it's really not. It's far lighter than Dark Souls combat. There isn't really a whole lot of weight to hits and things like that, or attacks. Even the Warhammer. And you're just frankly far too resilient. Healing is too easy and quick, and you know, it's not saying it's meant to be like Dark Souls, but I'm sure someone out there is going to make the comparison. There we go. So there's 2 right there, hanging out together, 16 and 18. I would be dead. The game looks decent. I wouldn't say it's like gorgeous or anything. Just decent. Yeah, I'm hunting down some people. I mean, I would say that I guess the sort of real-time active combat is certainly more interesting to me than like WoW or I suppose Final Fantasy. Being able to just, you know, control your blocks and things like that, certainly appealing. I'm upset there's no timed blocking, but beggars can't be choosers. Although I'm not a beggar, so not much excuse. Cannot respec while abilities are on cooldown. Perfect. Nicey nice. What's someone directly underneath me? Of course, somewhere in the mountain. Honestly, to be perfectly honest, for someone like me, at the end of the day, a better game than this that's similar is Genshin Impact. And I know some people will just never ever play Genshin Impact because it's a gacha game. They refuse to get caught up in that nonsense. But it really is just a better game. Unless you're interested in PvP. That would be the one difference. But otherwise, you know, you have this whole big open world to run around and gather stuff and craft with, and you have similar sort of action-based combat with different weapons, except it's way more involved and way more interesting being able to swap instantly between characters to combine elements and different abilities. You don't have other players fucking around with you. You can climb any surface in the game, which is awesome. And you have, like, PvE content with dungeons and boss monsters and stuff. And a whole story. Really, it's just better. Unless you're into, you know, social aspect and PvP, then sure. But that's why I said for someone like me. There's no shields in Genshin Impact, I don't think, so that is a plus for this game, being able to block attacks. Although the fact there's no time block and there's no parry, yeah, then it's sort of like, is there really a point? I think it sold well, and I think there'll be plenty of people that continue to play it, and they're gonna keep adding stuff, I'm sure, but certainly not a WoW killer or a Final Fantasy XIV killer. I wonder if it'll be a Guild Wars 2 killer. And I haven't played that game since it launched, but my brother's a huge fan of it to this day. And he did say a lot of his guildies were looking at switching to this game. And, you know, the only reason they play Guild Wars 2 is for the PvP, so maybe. Truth be told, though, I don't know what else to really say about it. Generally, when I play a new MMO, I like to just get to max level and then stop, but I'm not even sure if I'll get to max level on this one. Just because, like, the fact that there would be only one dungeon between now and 60. And you can see this quest that I'm doing here, just like kill these monsters and pick up what they drop. Thrilling stuff. In other news, bought an electric smoker, and right now, as we speak, as I play, I'm smoking my first pork shoulder. Pretty excited. Smells coming off of that thing are very alluring. An 18-hour smoke. No joke. That's fucking hell. That guy did absolutely nothing but just like sit there and wallop me. Yeah. He was 2 levels higher, I'll give him that, but I had a very solid opening, I thought. Was not enough. And yeah, then we're back here. So to fast travel here would cost 126 of this blue potion currency, of which I have 173. I don't know where I got 173 from, but this would... I can only fast travel once right now. Otherwise, I'd have to hoof it back over there. I guess. What else can you do? The game looks decent, but honestly, I might say that I think Valheim is the prettier game, which is crazy because that game's like 300 megabytes or some shit. It's a very different look, and certainly character models look far better in this one, but when it comes to just prettiness, Valheim's up there. I could fish, but fishing is basically the same as any other game that features fishing whatsoever. So you can already guess what it's like. Slightly more involved than cutting down trees. There, I got 10 Azoth. That's pretty high-end stuff. Ooh. There you go. I think loads of people have turned off World PvP since a couple days ago. Because Like I said, if you're not part of a gang squad, there's very little reason to have it on. Bird. Apparently, they want me to complete this quest, which is 2.3 kilometers away. How exciting! Just slap on auto run and alt tab. You'll never get there. I mean, really, if I just point it in that direction, hands off the mouse and keyboard, see what happens. There you go. Stuck on. Oh, no, we made it. We made it. Let me put my weapons away. Okay, we're going. Maybe we'd get there. Oh, no, I see a big old fucking mountain ahead of us. Oh, maybe we won't even get to the mountain. Come on. Okay. Yes, I'm not really sure the point of the auto run, because there's very little, like, wide open spaces in this game. At least in this region, there's just hills and trees and mountains and rocks everywhere. If you really don't want to hold down W, I guess, but not like it's a big effort. Cool. I like that fall damage is pretty minimal. Boy, oh boy. Are you excited yet? Can't mind that. Damn cat. Overall, it's very, very monotonous game. Which probably appeals to some people if you just want to zone out for a while, but there's a lot of zone out games. Why do you need another one? Look at this run distance. Oh my god. Like, not even halfway. Barely halfway. This is a pretty wide open space, though. We could auto run and go do something else. Yeah, I don't know. I stopped playing Diablo 2 Resurrected temporarily because this came out, but they're both monotonous in their own way, I guess. Neither one is really like gripping me like RimWorld or Cataclysm did. But that was pretty unusual for me to discover both those games back to back and just lose my life for 2 months. I think overall, if I had made this game, I would have made it far grittier. And this is really just my personal preference, but yeah, I would have made it much darker in tone, much grittier, much more lethal. You know, much more likely to die, but also enemies are, you know, more likely to die. And, you know, actually put in survival mechanics and things like that. That's what I would have done. Basically, like an open world MMO, Dark Souls with survival aspects and gathering and crafting. That's what I want. Which is really just like heavily modded Skyrim, I guess. Because if these enemies died in like 2-3 hits, but I also died in 2-3 hits, that would be a lot more exciting. And if the attacks had like more weight to them, yeah. I'm really just describing Dark Souls. I know. Which is not the end-all be-all of third-person combat. Like I said, Genshin Impact has really fun combat. And it's not at all Souls-like. I don't know, the combat for this feels more like some sort of PS2 era third-person action game. Actually, I guess it kind of feels like The Witcher 3. Which is not a high benchmark for combat. Oh, we're so close. But yeah, look at how few people are flagged for PvP. That first day, they were fairly abundant. Bullshit, hyper armor. Silver? Oh, silver. I can't carry this. Oh, a bow. We can put that on. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ah. Yeah, it's not a dead air because I just don't know what to talk about anymore about this game. It's just fine. Oh, look at PvP. Great. There you go. We won a PvP fight. And he attacked first, you schmuck. How did he not have any backup weapon to his fire staff? And he thought that's all that mattered in life, was you have a good fire staff. Nothing could take on someone with a fire staff. It shoots fucking fire. Little did he know. Having a melee weapon would have helped him a lot. A hatchet. And maybe I'd like a hatchet instead. Was that the guy with the fire staff? Jesse P? Oh, fuck your face. Fuck. This is world PvP. Come on. The accuracy is just atrocious. It was like stun locking him there. God damn it. This is so lame. How is that not connecting? How is that not connecting? If you're gonna keep popping food, then so am I. Look at that! These hits! What the fuck? You little bitch! Gotcha again. Dumbass. No, I don't think Fire Staff, Life Staff is a perfect solo PvP setup. Actually, I really don't know why you'd have a Life Staff at all if you're not in a group. Anywho, I think that'll probably do us for New World. You will not see this again. This is the old way. But you can fish if you're into fishing. There you go. You just throw it in the water and then you sit here and you just ponder your life. You just ponder it for a while. And then eventually you hook it and then you hold down the mouse button. Make sure the line doesn't snap. And eventually you get a fish. Or an anchor. A 55-pound fucking anchor. Yeah, good luck reeling that shit in. So yeah, you know. really, I think, unless you're really into PvP, I would suggest looking at Genshin Impact instead. Even if you are not interested in spending money. I mean, really, for the... What is it? Isn't New World like $60? Let me look this up. Let me look this up. $40. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you throw $40 at Genshin Impact, it's not like you're going to be decked out or anything like that, but you could get a decent little starting setup with Genshin Impact for $40. You don't even need to. You can just play for free and play fine and enjoy it. It's great, but yeah, I think unless you really like PvP, if you've got $40 burning a hole, I'd throw it at Genshin instead for sort of a similar kind of experience. But that's just me. Alright, that'll do us then. I gotta go check on my pork shoulder. My name is Mangg. This has been Mangg's Variety Stream. And I will see you fine folks next week.